Ethan Cole never believed that love could change the direction of a person's life. To him, love was something temporary, beautiful, at first painful. At the end, he had watched his parents spend years pretending to love each other, while silence slowly destroyed their home. Since then, Ethan promised himself he would never allow emotions to control him. At 28, he lived alone in a small apartment, overlooking the crowded streets of Blackridge City. The city never slept. Cars moved endlessly beneath glowing lights. Strangers passed each other without names, and dreams disappeared. Every single day in the noise of survival. Ethan worked as a night photographer for a local magazine. Most nights he walked through the city with a camera hanging from his shoulder, capturing moments. People ignored an old man feeding birds under a bridge, a child sleeping beside a broken, shop window lovers arguing in the rain, and lonely souls staring at distant buildings as if searching for something they had lost years ago. Photography was the only thing that made him feel alive. One cold evening while heavy rain covered the streets of Blackridge, Ethan stopped near an old bookstore hidden between two abandoned buildings. The sign above the door flickered weakly. Moonvale Books. He had passed that shop hundreds of times before, but tonight something felt different. Maybe it was the rain, maybe it was the loneliness, or maybe fate had finally decided to interrupt his ordinary life. Ethan stepped inside. The bookstore smelled like old paper and coffee. Soft music played somewhere in the background, while warm yellow lights covered the wooden shelves. For a moment, the noise of the city disappeared, and then he saw her. She stood near the back corner holding a dark blue book against her chest. Long black hair rested over her shoulders and her eyes carried the kind of sadness that could not be explained with words. She looked up at him briefly, just 1 second, but somehow that second felt longer than entire years. Ethan quickly looked away, pretending to study the books near the entrance. Yet something about her presence stayed inside his mind. The girl walked toward the counter and placed the book down. "You're closing early tonight?" she asked softly. The old shop owner smiled sadly. "Storm's getting worse." Lily. The name stayed in Ethan's mind instantly. "It is all right," she replied. "I'll leave soon." Her voice was calm, but there was loneliness hidden inside it. Ethan didn't know why, but he suddenly wanted to hear her speak again. Before he could stop himself, he walked toward the counter. "Excuse me," he said awkwardly. "Do you know any good books about photography?" Lily looked at him. For the first time, her eyes truly met his. "You take pictures?" she asked. "Sometimes." "That means yes." A faint smile appeared on her face. It was small, but beautiful enough to silence the storm outside. The old shop owner handed Ethan a book from behind the counter. "This one's good." Ethan barely noticed the book. His attention remained on Lily. "You like photography too?" he asked. "I like moments," she answered quietly. "Photography just helps people remember them." Her words surprised him. Most people talked without meaning anything, but she sounded different. "Real." Outside, thunder echoed across the city. Lily glanced through the window nervously. "You shouldn't walk home alone in this weather," Ethan said before thinking. She looked back at him carefully. And why would a stranger care? Ethan didn't have an answer. Maybe because he saw sadness inside her eyes that looked painfully familiar. Maybe because for the first time in years, someone's presence made the world feel quieter. "I don't know," he admitted honestly, "but I do." For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Lily smiled again, this time slightly warmer. "All right," she whispered. "You can walk with me." That rainy night became the beginning of everything. They walked through empty streets, beneath one umbrella, while rain poured around them endlessly. Lily told him she worked at a small music cafe downtown. Ethan spoke about photography and how cities looked different through camera lenses. "You notice things people ignore," Lily said. "So do you?" She looked at him silently. "No," she replied after a moment. "I only notice broken things." Ethan wanted to ask what she meant, but something told him not to. When they reached her apartment building, she stopped near the entrance. "Thank you for walking with me." "No problem." Another silence appeared between them. Neither wanted the conversation to end. Finally, Lily spoke softly. "Maybe I'll see you at the bookstore again." Maybe, Ethan answered. But deep down, he already knew he would return every single night if necessary. Over the next few weeks, Ethan and Lily continued meeting, sometimes at the bookstore, sometimes at her cafe after closing hours, sometimes simply wandering through the city without direction. Slowly, Ethan's cold and distant world began changing. Lily had a strange way of making ordinary things feel meaningful. She could spend 20 minutes watching snowfall outside, a cafe window, or listening to street musicians no one else noticed. You see magic in everything, Ethan once told her. No, she replied softly. I just learned life becomes easier when you stop rushing through it. Ethan started smiling more, sleeping better, living differently. For the first time in years, he no longer felt alone. One night they sat on the rooftop of Ethan's apartment building while city lights stretched endlessly beneath them. Lily rested her head lightly against his shoulder. What are you thinking about? Ethan asked. That people are temporary. He frowned slightly. That's a depressing thought. It is true, though. Not always. Lily looked up at the stars. My mother used to say nothing beautiful ever stays forever. And what do you think? She remained quiet for several seconds. I think she was right. Ethan turned toward her. Then maybe people like us exist to prove her wrong. Lily stared at him silently, and then without warning tears filled her eyes. Ethan panicked slightly. Hey, what happened? She quickly wiped her face. Nothing. But he knew that word carried pain behind it. Weeks passed. Winter slowly covered Blackridge City in cold winds and silver mornings. Ethan and Lily became inseparable. He photographed her constantly laughing beside cafe windows, reading books under soft lights, standing beneath snowfall with closed eyes. Without realizing it, she had become the center of every beautiful thing in his life. One evening, Ethan prepared a surprise for her. He rented a small rooftop restaurant overlooking the city skyline. Candles flickered softly around them while music played quietly in the background. Lily looked stunned. You did all this? Ethan smiled nervously. I wanted tonight to matter. It already does. Dinner passed with laughter and soft conversations. For the first time in years, Ethan allowed himself to imagine a future with someone, a real future. Near the end of the night, he reached into his jacket pocket and removed a small silver necklace shaped like a moon. Lily stared at it silently. My mother gave it to me before she died, Ethan said quietly. I've never given it to anyone. Ethan, I love you. The words escaped more honestly than anything he had ever spoken. Lily's eyes filled with emotion. For one beautiful moment, Ethan thought everything was perfect. But then her expression changed. Fear, pain, guilt. She slowly stepped backward. You shouldn't love me. Ethan's smile faded. What? I never wanted this to happen. What are you talking about? Lily looked away, trembling. I am leaving Blackridge. The world suddenly felt still. What? I am moving to another city. Tomorrow morning. Ethan felt his chest tighten painfully. Tomorrow, he whispered. You're joking. I wish I was. Why didn't you tell me? Because I knew this would happen. Anger mixed with heartbreak inside him. So all this meant nothing to you. Lily immediately shook her head. No, don't he say that. Then explain. Tears rolled down her face. I am sick, Ethan. Silence. The city lights blurred around him. What? I have a heart condition. It is getting worse. Ethan stared at her in disbelief. I am going for surgery in another city. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't want pity. That is not pity. I didn't want you loving someone who might disappear. Ethan felt tears burning his own eyes now. You should have trusted me, Lily cried quietly. I tried not to fall in love with you, she whispered, but you made me feel alive again. The pain inside Ethan became unbearable. Then stay. I can't. Let me come with you. She shook her head slowly. If something goes wrong, I don't want your last memory of me to be a hospital room. Ethan grabbed her hands tightly. Listen to me, I don't care about any of that. I love you. Lily closed her eyes as tears continued falling. And I love you too, she whispered. Those words destroyed him even more. The next morning, Ethan stood at the train station watching Lily prepare to leave. Neither of them knew what to say anymore. The announcement for departure echoed through the station. Lily stepped closer and placed something in his hand. A folded letter. Don't read it until I am gone. Ethan's voice trembled. Please come back. Lily smiled sadly. If life allows me to, and then she walked away. Ethan watched until her figure disappeared completely. For the first time in his life, love felt more painful than loneliness ever had. Hours later, sitting alone in his apartment, Ethan finally opened the letter. Inside, Lily's handwriting covered the page carefully. If you are reading this, then I already left. I know you are probably angry at me, and honestly you have every right to be, but meeting you was the most beautiful accident of my life. Before you, my world felt small and colorless. I spent years believing happiness was temporary, so I stopped allowing myself to feel anything deeply. Then you appeared with your camera, your quiet heart, and those tired eyes hiding kindness behind them. You made ordinary days feel unforgettable. You made me laugh when I forgot how. You made me believe love could exist without destroying people, and that terrified me. Because people like you become impossible to forget. If fate is kind, maybe we'll meet again someday beneath another rainy sky. And if we don't, please continue taking pictures of beautiful things. Because the world needs people who still notice them. I love you. Forever, Lily. Ethan read the letter 3 times that night. Then he cried until sunrise. Months passed. Blackridge City remained the same. But Ethan didn't. He still worked as a photographer, but now every photo carried traces of Lily. Every rainy street reminded him of her. Every bookstore smelled like memories he could not escape. Sometimes he wondered whether loving someone deeply was a gift or a curse. Then one winter evening, nearly a year later, Ethan returned to Moonvale. Books during another storm. The old owner smiled sadly when he entered. Still carrying her in your heart. Ethan nodded quietly. Some people never leave us, the old man said. Ethan walked slowly through the familiar shelves, and then he froze. Near the back corner of the bookstore stood a girl holding a dark blue book against her chest. Long black hair, quiet eyes, soft smile. Lily. For several seconds neither moved, neither breathed. Tears filled Ethan's eyes instantly. Lily smiled through her own tears. Hi, she whispered. Ethan crossed the room and held her tightly as if letting go might destroy reality itself. You came back. I promised I'd try. What happened? The surgery worked. Ethan laughed weakly while crying at the same time. That's illegal, he whispered against her shoulder. You can disappear for a year and come back looking this beautiful. Lily laughed softly through tears. I missed you too. Outside rain continued falling over Blackridge City, but for the first time Ethan no longer hated storms. Because sometimes beneath the rain life returned the people you thought you had lost forever.